Yeah, she was the HR manager. Because our leadership don't, like, they have portfolios, but they're not actually in office, and I was like, wow, that's interesting.
There are some bands, some of our bands have that rule on this side of the border, where if you're going to run for council or be elected to council, you can't hold a job within the band. Some of our bands have that rule, like West Bank does. I don't know West Bank, Vernon does for sure. Okanagan Indian Band does too. Yeah, so that if you work for the band in one of our businesses, our businesses are, especially in the band office, if you work in governance and you run for council, say you're the education coordinator, you have to give up your job. Some bands have that. I know for a fact West Bank does. And I've always thought, well, who do you want running your band businesses? Should it be your hardest workers, your best and your brightest? Isn't that who you want running your businesses? Everybody says yes. So your hardest workers, your best and your brightest, isn't that who you want working in your band office? You want your hardest workers, your best and your brightest working in your band office? Everybody says yes. Well, then who should be on council? Shouldn't it also be your hardest workers and your best and your brightest? Is that who you want on council? Or do you want the lazy asses on council? Those that don't work?
Where's it, Stephen?
No. You want your hardest workers and your best and your brightest. So we want our best and brightest to work in everything, whether it's our band businesses, whether it's in social services, whether it's the band office. But we also want our best and brightest to be elected to council too. So when we want our best and brightest and hardest workers to be on council, when they get elected, we don't make them quit their jobs for the band. Plus, there is no security in running for chief and council. You can get voted out in one term. You can get voted out in 2 terms. So why would you give up your job, which is more secure than being on council? So sometimes your best and brightest, if you have that rule, then you can't work for the band if you're on council. Sometimes your best and brightest won't run for council. They'll stay in their job because there's more job security in a job than being on council. So that's what I find. That's why I don't like that rule, because we want our best and brightest and hardest workers to also be on council. And these bands that have that rule where you can't be on, you have to give up your job, some of your best and brightest won't run for council because there's no job security.
So I work for a band office, so can you tell my elders here to vote for me because I'll be running?
They didn't go anywhere.
So this trip you guys do you guys do this every year?
Yes, this will be our 3rd year.
Where else have you gone?
We've been to the first year we went, where did we go?
Kamloops.
Oh, Kamloops.
We went to go see the residential school where they found out that there
Yeah.
took a bunch of elders there.
Just on that topic, Ronnie's a residential school survivor. She, as you see on the wall there, that's our residential school memorial wall.
Okay.
And unlike, we actually put the names up there so people will remember who went to residential school. Ronnie went to Kamloops. Not Kamloops. Cranbrook. Our people in the Okanagan here, well in the South Okanagan here especially, our people either got sent to Kamloops in the residential school, or they got sent to, which is 3 hours away from us, or they got sent to Cranbrook, which is 7 hours away. Yeah, so Ronnie was sent to
We had 13 hours residential.
right on.
So usually when that time when we took our elders, we didn't buy a horse and nurse to look at.
River Road.
And then just for that
Zoom out. Zoom out.
They also has 5 schools. I don't know if you're aware of that. So one of our schools is they teach 3, all the way up to grade 4 at the East Creek. And when you're done there, they move over to the
Hey Ronnie, can you text or call Julie and see if you can send the kids over here to do a song? On the res here, we have one school. This is the one school. Yeah, our res isn't that big. I mean, land-wise, our land-wise is smaller than your res. And people-wise, we're way smaller. No, we have one school. I know on the Caldwell Indian Reservation, our people that got put on that big res to the south, they have 5 or 6 schools on the res.
Yeah, and their schools probably have 500-600 kids.
Yeah.
1,400 schools population.
I think our population on our school, student-wise, is 100. But that 100 includes a lot of white kids from down. Yeah, we lease out thousands of acres of land for business purposes, for job purposes, for income. So our biggest land lease is vineyards, where we lease out probably 1,200 acres to various wineries. They're not our vineyard. We have our own vineyard, but we still lease out a bunch of land to the non-native wineries. And one of our land leases is a racetrack. It's just up over this ridge. It's a big racetrack. It isn't an oval track. It's kind of a zigzag track. They have a straight stretch, and that land lease is 200 acres, and it's a fancy racetrack for people with hot cars. And maybe we could arrange for you guys to have a trip up there if you guys want. But you can't bring your buses like do it. I don't know what's. I'll have to phone Bill and ask him what's going on up there. It's like a private golf course or a private yacht club. You have a fancy car, and you pay your membership there, but you have to take the race at the safe driving course. And you can go out there and bring your car out on club member days where you're not racing against anybody, you're just out there opening your car up because it's your car, if you have a fast car, if you drive on the highways that way, you're going to get stopped. But up there, you can go fast. And plus, we have a club, we have a restaurant up there, and then so it's a club members private course. But every once in a while, they actually do have races. They do actually have car races up there. And sometimes they rent the track out for motorcycles, those fast motorcycles. They have motorcycle races up there. But most of the time, it's not a race. People are just up there ripping around the track in fancy cars. But it's brought a lot of rich people here. The owner of the Vancouver Canucks, he goes up there because he owns Ferraris. That's the type of cars he has. He has fancy cars. One of his cars cost $1 million. It's a $1 million car. Yeah. But I can phone Bill and ask him what's going on up there. Pardon? I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. If you've seen the cover of my book, I have my Montreal Canadiens jersey on. I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. There's got to be some Montreal Canadiens fans in here, is there?
I think the majority of these guys are whatever.
Oh yeah. Oilers, yeah. I want to see a Canadian team win the cup.
Yeah.
So I cheer for all the Canadian teams at playoff time. I was really hoping that it would do. You got a question? Oh. Yeah, so our small band, our little kind of small claim to fame is we have more band-owned businesses on a per capita basis than any other First Nation in the country. We have a lot of joint ventures as well. We have joint venture in the mining industry, forestry industry. We come from a mountain area, so when you get up high, there's a lot of trees. And so we're heavily involved in forestry as well. We're opening up a tree nursery that grows small little trees for the forest industry. They'll be growing trees for all the Canadian western provinces. They're going to grow 20 million trees a year. That's a lot of trees. So that's our newest business, our newest venture. We're going to have the groundbreaking in a couple of, I think we're going to have the groundbreaking
So recently you guys had fires up in this area?
Yeah, we're lucky because in the mountains there's a lot of trees, a lot of forests. Over the past, say, 5 years, maybe 6 years, like every summer we have bad smoke. There's a fire somewhere, whether it's in the Okanagan or whether it's somewhere in northern BC, or even Alberta. I'm surprised northern Alberta has forests.
Yeah.
And we get bad smoke where you can't even see these mountains. Sometimes you can't see the mountains, the smoke is so bad. And that smoke will stay for a week maybe or a couple of days. We're lucky this summer that we didn't have any smoke in the valley. We didn't have smoke until last week.
Yeah.
And that smoke came from a fire up north. Yeah, so, and sometimes there's fires in Washington State, like bad fires in Washington State, and we'll get their smoke. So sometimes in the valley here, like I said, you won't be able to see those mountains, they'll be so bad.
When we were leaving Kelowna yesterday, it kind of looked like you were getting thicker and
Is it?
but I'm glad that
It's clear, yeah. Today it's clear. Yeah, because I think you called me about the smoke
Yeah, yeah.
a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And at that time, we did have bad smoke, what I would call bad smoke. But it wasn't as bad as it's gotten here, because I said, sometimes from Spirit Ridge, it's happened before, where you couldn't even see the lake. From Spirit Ridge Hotel, couldn't even see the lake, smoke was so bad. Yeah, so we're lucky here. Well, actually, we had a bad fire here a couple of years ago. It burnt part of the res, but it didn't burn any houses down. But it did burn a lot of our forests down. So we've had bad fires. We'll have to have your guys' flag hanging with our flags here. You guys will send me a flag. I'd like to talk about this flag. So when your people come here again, we'll see your flag.
yeah.
Yep.
What business gives you the most profits?
Business gives the most profits. At this time, sometimes it changes depending on the market. Like sometimes the grapes are doing really well, and our vineyard makes millions of dollars. But sometimes it doesn't, it goes up and down. The problem is we sit here right now, our biggest source of income is still our land leases. We lease out, like Area 27 at Racetrack, with our vineyards we lease out, our wine village to the north. Our biggest source of income is our land lease money. Spirit Ridge is a lease. The hotel down there. That golf course is by the hotel there. We don't own that golf course. That's a lease. We're leasing to business people from the coast. Our golf course is just north. So our biggest source of income is still land lease money. Our second biggest source of income is taxation, because we have a taxation bylaw. We tax all. We don't tax the native use of land. We don't tax band members. But when non-natives lease our property, we tax them. And all these power lines and right-of-ways, these gas lines, those cars, we tax them as well. So it's kind of neat. And plus, some of the land leases on reserve is housing. Like this trailer park to the north here, it's a 200-unit trailer park here. We're all donated state. There's housing down the south end of the reserve that has fancy houses on it. Some of the houses are $1 million houses. They're big houses. They're big fancy houses. The white people built them, and they live on the reserve under a land lease. It's a 99-year prepaid lease. Above Spirit Ridge, above the hotel that you're at, there's more residential units up there. There's condos that are up there. Those are the land leases. A lot of white people own them. Or anybody could own them. You guys could buy one of those. Because often what happens with these land leases, these residential land leases on reserve, whoever built it decides to move or sell it and make a profit on it. So there's always houses being bought and sold, these land leases. And anyone can buy them, even New York people could want to rest around house. So those are our biggest source of income. First is land leases, then it's taxation. But in terms of the banned businesses, I'd say as we sit here this year, it'd be forestry. Forestry brings in around $7 million a year. I'm just guessing at that. Probably forestry is our biggest source of income on the business side. Other than that, it would be our campground and our RV park does good. Sometimes our ready mix does really good. Tourism would be our winery. Our winery usually makes money. The winery that's by the hotel down there, where you're staying, that's our winery. A small. It's looked at as a small winery. 20,000 cases. I don't know how many people are here. I don't drink wine, but 20,000 cases is a small winery. One of our people went to school in Australia, New Zealand, and he became the world's first First Nation winemaker just a couple of years ago. He worked in that winery for about 8 or 10 years before he became the winemaker. So now we've got an Indian, it's the winemaker down there, Marcellus. Our winery usually makes money. So most of our businesses make money, but sometimes they make money one year and don't make money another. We don't have treaties here in southern BC. The only treaty in BC is, I think it's part of Treaty 8, northern BC, way up north. Part of Treaty 8 in BC. With the Edmonton area, I think that's Treaty 8 too.
No, that's true.
Might be wrong. But that's the only treaty that's in BC and way up north. That's why here in BC there's modern day treaties being done, being negotiated. There's some of the bands in BC, out of the 200 bands, some of the bands are set modern day treaties. But they're not like the number treaties. No, we're still under the Indian Act. Oh, yeah. Most of the bands in BC are all still under the Indian Act. Even those that have self-government, one of the bands in our territory, West Bank, is a self-government band. They're mostly out from under the Indian Act. Like I said, they are out from under the Indian Act, West Bank, because they spent 10 years negotiating self-government agreement. There's only like 3 or 4 in BC that have self-government agreements. Most of the bands in BC, like all across the country, like you guys, we're still under the Indian Act. Yeah, we deal with the Indian Affairs Office on the coast. Vancouver has a big Indian Affairs Office. There used to be an Indian Affairs Office here in the Okanagan, but our people shut it down in the 70s. We didn't want Indian Affairs in the Okanagan, so we kind of kicked them out. No, their staff went to the headquarters office. But we still deal with Indian Affairs when we're leasing our land. We have to deal with Indian Affairs. I guess that's only cut off other than we still get education funding from them, some housing. We still get it. We still have to deal with Indian Affairs, but not as much as we used to. Yeah, we still have our hunting tradition. Right? A lot of our people still hunt in these mountains. Deer, elk, and moose. Many of our people still fish for salmon. Most of our people still get their firearms acquisitions. Most of our people do, some don't, but most do. I don't know what the legal rules are around that, whether natives have to get them, but most of our people still get them. Like I've got my kids. We put on courses here for the firearms acquisition, and there's always members signing up to take those courses. Because probably the majority of our people on this reserve do own hunting rifles. Some of our people own a lot of hunting rifles. And hunting is still a big thing here. Even though people think that we're down in the valley, we're next to all these urban areas, and our people still love going up in the mountains. We love going up in the mountains. Plus our people sometimes like getting away from the urban setting. They'll just go for a drive. Within 5 minutes, you can be up in the mountains and there's no housing. I mean, unlike the prairies where you have these farms, you have farm after farm after farm. You get up in the mountains, it's just pure open. Stuff in the mountains. Smoked salmon? Our cultural center, if you stop by our cultural, are you going to our cultural center?
Yeah, we're supposed to have it for there.
What's your cultural center? Okay. Cultural center might be selling smoked salmon. I'm not sure, but sometimes they sell smoked salmon. Our tribal council sometimes sells smoked salmon too, but I think they, in the winery, I think might sell smoked salmon. I think our winery might sell smoked salmon as well. And sometimes it is from the Okanagan, you'll see the packaging, it says Okanagan.
Yeah.
Okanagan.
Okay, yeah. I think it's something like Dennis
Well, Suyus, our gas station down there. What lodge? Yeah, we have sweat lodges here. We're probably one of the few in our territory. We're probably one of the few bands that actually, we have band sweats, a men's and a woman's, that the band pays for and we maintain. We have 2 creeks that run through our reserve, 2 creeks. We have our sweat lodges down by one of the creeks. And the band looks after those sweat lodges. We pay to make sure there's wood there. We pay to make sure they're looked after. And our members just go and use them whenever they want and allowed to bring wherever they want. But different than some tribal territories. In our tribal territory here, men and women don't sweat together. They have a women's sweat lodge and a man's sweat lodge. I've been to other tribal nations where men and women do sweat together, which is fine. As Native people, we have different rules sometimes. I always get down to South Dakota on a motorcycle ride every summer. And down there in Lakota country, men and women do sweat together. So that's how I sweat when I'm down there. But up here, the rule is men and women don't sweat together. Yeah. At Spirit Ridge, I know some people call it Spirit Lodge, we used to own 25% of it. We used to, when it was first being built, we did own 25% of it. And then when management changed about 5-7 years ago, we ended up selling our 25% to the new owners that came in. So technically, we don't own the hotel anymore. We used to own 25% of it. But as we sit here today, we're not a business partner in Spirit Ridge. It's still on our land. Yeah, it's a lease. Yeah, that is a lease. We still get the taxation revenue from it. We still get the land lease. It's so neat. Of course, I never thought in my lifetime. There's a time of the year, tax time. You'll see a lineup of white people coming here to the band office to pay their taxes. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that. See white people come in to the band office and paying their taxes because they live on the reserve. They actually live here. They live in the trailer court over here, or they live in the cottages, which is the fancy residential development. Those are the 2 places where some bands in BC have a lot of residential land leases where thousands of non-natives lease there. I know in Calgary, Sutina, at the golf course, Redwood Meadows, they have a land lease there where a lot of white people come and lease land from the band, which is good.
A lady that wants to ask a question behind you.
Oh. Forestry is being affected by the tariffs because some of the way up in the mountains, hundreds of miles from here, are these logging contracts. So some of the mills, they're being affected by the tariffs. Yeah, they are being affected by the tariffs. Yeah, our tariff. forth who we sell the logs to being affected by the tariffs. I can't think of anything. I think our wine industry might be affected by the tariffs as well, because we're partnered up with Jackson Treats from Toronto. They're Canada's biggest winemaker. So I'm guessing the tariffs are affecting the wine industry as well. But at the U.S.-Canada border there on Osoyoos Lake, if you look at Osoyoos Lake, part of Osoyoos Lake is in Washington State. When you're at Osoyoos, some of the mountains you look to the south, that's in Washington State. That's actually in the States. And at the border crossing there's a lot of people from this side of the border, from BC and the Okanagan, head down to the States, shopping. Even with the exchange rate, most things are still cheaper down there. My brother always goes down there to gas up, because even with the exchange rate, it's still cheaper for us to pay in Washington State. And the things are still cheaper now. They're all on stuff is probably still cheaper. Even with the duty and the exchange, I think if you stay down there for 48 hours, you don't have to pay anything new. So our people use that border a lot. We're always crossing that border. And many of our people have worked in the States, that they're so close. But it wasn't that long ago. Some of our people still travel from here to go to work. They live on the reserve here, but they go through that border every day to go to work in Washington State.
Yeah, the taxes that you collect from the white people, are you required to record it to Canada Revenue? Do you have to give them the money, or how does that work?
I'm guessing we have to report it, but we don't have to give it to Canada.
Oh,
no.
good.
No, we don't give it to the BC or the feds. We don't give it to the province or the federal government.
Yeah.
It was only in the 1990s, I'm guessing around 1993, that the Kamloops Indian Band was the first one to actually push the taxation issue. Because when bands would lease land to non-natives off the reserve, Kamloops had a lot of land leases with non-natives in their industrial park. The province would come in and tax those land leases, even though it was federal Indian reserve land. And those white people that were living on the reserve or doing business on the reserve would pay the taxes to the province. And the Kamloops Indian Band, the chief of council said, that's not right, it's like provincial land. So they actually got VCRs from bands all across the country, and they forced Indian Affairs to do an amendment to the Indian Act. It was actually the First Nation-led amendment to the Indian Act that was ever done. It was a taxation. So right now there's a national taxation office in Ottawa, and one in BC as well. And any band can jump into taxation. Just to tax the people. They tax the non-native lease of Indian reserve land. Sometimes it's a pipeline, the natural gas line that runs through the reserve here, sometimes it's power lines. You can tax those. But that money comes to the band and stays with the band. It doesn't go to the province. So we collect, I don't know how many billions of dollars in taxes from here. We don't do that. We get to use it for programs. Plus buy land. I'm glad to hear your band is buying land. So many bands are doing that. Our reserve, when it was first established in 1877, was 40,000 acres. No, 36,000 acres. And then, just like in Saskatchewan, Alberta, wherever, even in Washington State, as more settlers came into the area, the government would take away Indian land, open up more land. And they did that here too. So we lost 4,000 acres of land, our best reserve, bottom land. And so we've been buying back land too. So that area, just where the gas station is down there, that was an addition to the reserve we did about 15 years ago. We bought that land with the land that we did. We told the government our reserve is 4,000 acres short of its original size, 1977. We want to be able to buy land back and add it. It's the same here. I mean, so it's out in that land. I think was in regional district. Someone's in Kamloops. We were able to get support letters from them saying they don't disagree with us getting that out of the ALR, out of municipal status and putting it into the city's municipal status. So that's where that home in that 4-story building that you see there is rebuilt. We partnered up with the province of BC, and that opening is going to be in a couple of weeks, where it's a BC housing project done with BC government money, where we'll fully own that. I think in 30 years, we'll fully own that whole apartment building, where we'll own it totally. But for 30 years, we have to leave it into a rental pool.
Yeah.
So natives and non-natives will be renting that building. When we sold, when there was management changes there, because the people that built Spirit Ridge originally were from Calgary, Bellstar. And then they had a falling out with the homeowners association there. And then the homeowners association, which is, those rooms you guys are staying in are owned by people. There's 400 different owners. Some are from the States, some are from, most are from Canada, most are from, sort of, but not the same, because some people own a quarter, some own a half, some own the entire room. We have 2 rooms down there that is UCU band owns. We own 2. And it's in the rental pool. Most people make money off of their, they're allowed to stay in there X number of weeks a year. And the homeowners association, after the guys from Calgary were out, they bought them out, then us too. They brought in money. And they had to do a lot of renovations and do this and do that. I thought some of the renovations shouldn't have been done. We weren't involved anymore. But yeah, so the homeowners association brought money, so now it's part of the money, which is good. It's brought in different that wouldn't normally do. But it's good to see. It's fun. And I hope they make money off of it. They put a lot of renovations into that building to be part of the Hyatt chain. Oh yeah. It isn't a Super 8.
No.
Yeah, or a Best Western. But they have a conference center there as well, and it goes up to 200 people, so different conferences are held there all the time. Different bands go there and hold their retreat. Your retreat council, you guys do a council partner or a business retreat. Different First Nations go there and bring their full council there and have their council retreats there. Or they bring their business board there and have their business meetings there. I know this week we're having a workshop here on next day, so there'll be a bunch of different bands there from across the country. And 2 weeks ago, there were bands there from Nova Scotia, from New Brunswick, Ontario, Quebec. They were all in a big conference room talking about Heavy Death for a couple of days. So, and some people hold weddings there, some people hold other gatherings there. There's all types of gatherings, which is good. It just brings more people into the area, more business for us. Yeah, so that hotel and conference room. Pardon me? Every reserve has a housing list. We have a housing list, but we're pretty lucky. I mean, we don't have thousands of people. But every band that still has a housing list. We haven't gotten CMHC housing. We get the same type of housing. Social housing or Section 95, they used to call it. They still call it that. The social housing that gets allotted from Ottawa, tries to spread out all across the country. The last time we got 6 units from the government was like 6 or 8 years ago. We've been on the waiting list to keep on bugging up for more units. But because, I mean, like your band must have money. You gotta have money in order to do anything. So we started building our own houses. We built bought some more houses. They're just being put up now. So our housing list is one page. Probably 10 people, I guess. I'm just guessing. We still have housing pressures, but they're not as bad as most bands because of our economic development. We're able to buy our own houses. We actually buy houses and land from band members too. On this reserve, I don't think it's that so much on the prairies. On this reserve, the allotment system, there's old allotments from the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, where band members own the land. The band doesn't own it, the band member owns that land. And sometimes the band member, like under the Indian Act, you can only sell federally reserved land or band land. You can only sell it to either the band or a band member. You can't sell it to anybody else. You can't even sell it to the Indian band. People are, you have to be from that reserve in order to buy that house, that land. So we bought a number of houses and even land from band members. It becomes band land. Don't have a logging business. We contract that out. Yeah, we hire non-native loggers to do our logging. We used to have we never really owned equipment. That cost a lot of money to run logging equipment. Yeah. We stayed out of that part of it. Most of our members work for the band. We do have a few individual band members that are entrepreneurs, like that riding stable where those horses are. That's not owned by the band, that's a band member that owns that riding stable. He's been running horses and rides out of there since late 60s. So that's a long business for that band member. We have another band member that does shuttles. She drives people around for wine tours or weddings or whatever it may be. But most band members do work for the band. They're in the band governance, they're in the band office, or they work for our businesses. We have many band members that have worked their way up and became managers. I think most of our companies are managed by band members. The campground is, the vineyard is, our golf course here on the north end is. Yes, so probably half, a little over half of our businesses are managed by band members.
So before, this is Ray. We have a program called Seven Generation.
I thought you were putting a Cree bug on me. This is a Cree bug, isn't it?
And we have a program called Seven Generation. These young men here, you see with the cameras, they go live on our nation, so the nation will know what the nation is doing.
Great. How far away is the next reserve from you guys?
Oh, geez. Well, we have Frog Lake, that's about 25 minutes west. And then we have Thunder Child, that's probably an hour east. Yeah.
I think I've been to Frog Lake. You said Frog Lake?
Yeah, Frog Lake,
Because I spoke
Alberta.
in that town you mentioned. I've spoken there before. I think it was Frog Lake that brought me out there to speak.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was many years ago.
Their chief is, Greg Desjardins. I think he's the AFN.
I should ask Sammy. We're going on a motorcycle ride this week down to follow our salmon, follow the river system where it goes out into the ocean. And then our motorcycle riders follow the salmon all the way back. Last year we had 2 Saskatchewan chiefs come with us. And this year we're having a couple of Saskatchewan chiefs as well. Let me see if...
The Little Pine Chief, he's a young man, he does ride a motorcycle. Donnie Ironchild, I believe is his name.
Let me ask her right now, because I think they're arriving here tomorrow. I think they're driving over. I think the lady chief canceled out because... Hey, Sammy, you there? No, she's not answering. Yeah, but there's two Saskatchewan chiefs coming on. They came last year.
Crystal
Is your lunch here at the hall? Oh, okay. Oh, good. Our kids, one of our drum group here at the school, they're going to do a song for you guys up at the hall, which is good. Do you guys have a powwow on your wrist?
Oh, yeah, definitely. One of the biggest powwows in Saskatchewan.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Ronnie. Oh, did you go to their wrist?
No, that's on our bucket list.
Her daughter's a really good, granddaughter is a really good dancer.
It's one of the biggest powwows in Saskatchewan. The biggest.
Third week in July?
Third weekend.
Oh, third weekend in July. Yeah, the Kamloops powwow switched to June. I mean, end of June, right? Yeah. Yeah.
There's 3 powwows the same time as Onion Lake, and I believe Kamloops was one of them. Yeah.
Can I ask you, where did the name Onion Lake come from?
Well, let's get the elders. Who wants to answer that? One of the elders can answer why we have Onion Lake. Why is Onion Lake named Onion Lake? And Mark, do you know the answer to that? Why is Onion Lake called Onion Lake?
Oh, wild onions. Nice.
Wild onions growing around the lake, eh?
Oh. Osuyus is actually a place name in our language, but that's not how you say it. That's the non-native way of saying it. Like Okanagan is actually a native word, but again, that's the non-native way of saying it. I'm not a language speaker, so I have trouble making those sounds. But if I said 500 years ago, let's meet at Osuyus, you'd know exactly where we're meeting at. Because in that lake, and of course any tribal people, any race of people, when you cross the lake on horseback or on foot, you cross at its shallowest point. And the place name Osuyus, which you really say with the SW, and you have to make a sound after it, which I can't make. But the white people took that name and said, they changed it to Osuyus, but that's not how you say it in our language. It's close, but it's not how you say it. So it's an area on the lake where you could always cross. Yeah. It's an area, it's a place name. It's actually a small area of land, an area on the lake where you can cross the water any time of the year. You can always cross on foot or on horseback. It's a shallow crossing area on the lake, which when you cross the bridge, it's just south of the bridge. Yeah, that's why.
How do we say Onion Lake in Cree?
Yeah, the word Okanagan, if you say it in our language, it's Sukanakin, and I'm not even saying it right. But the word Osuyus in our language, you say, of course, no native language had an alphabet, but if you want to put the non-native alphabet to the word Osuyus, you say it with the SW, Swa, and you have to make a sound after that. And the non-native.
In our language is Wichigaskaseo, and Sagagan is lake, eh?
Oh.
Wichigaskaseo, Sagagan.
Yeah. So you guys actually on a lake?
There is a lake there on the reserve, yeah.
Oh, good. Good.
It's not a very big lake now. It used to be a good sized lake, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Pardon me?
Does anybody famous ever come out of this band?
Famous. The artwork that you see on the pillars here, this artwork, we had a school on the res that was in the 1930s. Could be 1920s, 1930s. I think it shut down around that time period. And the kids became famous. The Inkameep Day School. And again, the word Inkameep is a place name. It's a place, an actual place name. So I guess our reserve is lucky that when the feds, when the Indian agents named our reserve, at least they used our language. They didn't call it something else, like some bands. But these art pieces that you see in here, when the kids were doing that art back then, This artwork ended up all over Canada and in Europe. There's different museums that have this artwork. And even Walt Disney wrote a letter to our kids. Somehow, back in that time period, Walt Disney was still alive. And that's about when it's famous. One of the most famous things that happened on this res was that Inkme day school back in the 30s. No, we don't have a helicopter tour rights. There's often helicopters that end up at Spirit Ridge because those rich people fly in with their helicopters. They have their cars sent here, and then they fly in with their helicopters and spend a day on the track. Hockey and fastball, we still have some good hockey players here. Some very good hockey players. A couple of girls are really doing good. Nathan's daughter is one of them. And but it's kind of sad that sports has gone down a lot. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Too much of this, too much twiddling your thumb or watching screens. Even in town, we used to have a hockey rec league there with 8 teams, and it went down, 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 because when the older guys would stop skating, the younger guys weren't taking over. They weren't playing competitive hockey. So,
That's what happens in Onion Lake.
yeah.
We used to have, I met some men outside Stony, Dakota the other day, and they saw our buses, so they came and chatted with me. And they were older gentlemen, and they were like, we used to play ball in Onion Lake, and they were like, oh, you guys play ball? And I was like, no, we have
Yeah, we used to
no.
have 2, for as small a reserve as we are, we used to have 2 men's fastball teams and 1 women's fastball team. Now we don't have any. Where the school is right now is where one of the ball diamonds are on the fastball field. There's still one fastball field the other side of these buildings. It hardly gets used.
Yeah, there's no fastball in Onion Lake anymore.
Yeah.
My son is a pitcher. He has to travel 3.5 hours to play.
Yeah, I wish our people would get back into fastball and hockey more. The buses, how long have you guys had those buses?
2012, I think, was the first bus route.
2012?
Was the first bus. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But we just got the new one maybe last year. We got them both wrapped just in the spring here. And the guy that created that wrap is over there.
Oh, nice. The buses aren't called Elders buses, are they?
No. Just the community buses. Yeah, everyone in like every program uses them for anything. They take the kids on trips. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Sports. Yeah.
Nice.
Book it ahead of time.
You know, Onion Lake, you guys got the best res buses I've ever seen. You guys got the very best res buses. One of our band has what they call an Elders bus, but it's not like I'm thinking of Upper Nicola or Smilkameen. Yeah, Smilkameen got an Elders bus, but it ain't those type of buses. It's like half the size, and it doesn't have, and to have your logos all over it. That is super cool. That is so cool, having that logo all over it.
But I think we need to start talking here.
Yeah, we'd like to get a picture. Russ, you're still here. Can we get a picture of your group? I don't know how we're going to do this, but we'll do the best we can in front of the bus on the side so we can see I think your band's name's on the side. Yeah. Let's get a picture, Russ, with the group. And then we'll meet you up at the hall for lunch. Thank you, John, for bringing the mic out. Thank you, Ronnie and Nathan, for being here. Thank you. Oh, and my book, for some of you that said you read my book, I'll grab a copy. I'll bring some up to the hall. Okay? Lim.
This young man knows you.
Oh, really?
He's a writer.
Oh, Trevor. Where's he from?
Sugas, but he lives in Belmont.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Where can we get your book? A copy of it to buy?
Let me see. My book is actually for sale at the Cultural Center, When you go to the cultural center, they're selling it there. If you go to the winery, they're selling it there. And actually, our winery has a gift shop. You don't have to go there to buy wine. Half the people, half the people that go there don't buy wine. They just buy the gifts that are there, or they buy. It's right next to the Spirit Ridge. It's right next to the hotel. It's south. It's just where you have the roundabout where the teepee area is there. It's right to it's yeah that. So my book is for sale at that winery. It's at the cultural center, and it's also at the gas station and store there. It's also at the gas station and store. Res rules. I'll bring some up to the hall. I'll bring some. So can we gather there? Because I'll be able to say hi to you guys and shake your hands up at the hall. Can we gather at the bus so we can get a picture? Yes. Yeah. 40 years, getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. We'll see you up at the hall.
All right.
John.
We're gonna get a picture. Everyone to the bus.
I'm going to be up at the hall. Oh yeah, of course.
You and my brother.
Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah, I'll be up at the hall. Okay. I'll keep on setting up a slot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't mind.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
To the bus. To the bus. To the bus.
Good?
Watch the training, Walt.
Good? Hey, Mark. There we go. Thank you. Thanks for.
No, I've been asked to. I just don't like. I don't like traveling.
This is my ride.
Nice. I got one. I have an electric glide. Pretty much.
Cool.
Hey John, here's the mic.
Yours, Curtis?
So, is this an annual event that you ride in that?
Yeah.
The banana peel, is that a banana peel?